Welcome back. This is Nerd Dad on episode 14 of our Factorio playthrough. We just dropped off our radar dish and we have got our blue science packs. I'm not sure if they're going to backlog for us, but we're going to find out. So let's figure out what's next on our agenda. I think it's going to have to be sulfuric acid, which means we're going to need sulfur, of course. And then we can start thinking a little bit about those lovely little things we like to call batteries. And that's going to pose a few new challenges for us because we're going to have to run up some extra lines. And we're really getting tight on the resources here, so I'm starting to think we might have to think a little bit about that conundrum. Actually, I want to take a quick little drive around and take a look and see what we got going here. Let's check our prods again. All right, we're putting out exactly 1K of iron plates. Our consumption is, what is our consumption? Just under 1K of iron plates. So the good news is we're producing more than we're using by a very little. We're producing 300 and we're consuming. Now you always consume less than you can produce because, well, you can't really overconsume when your lines don't have anything in it. What I think that means for us is we definitely need to get on top of the iron ore. Steel, on the other hand, we're hardly using anything up at all. So that's a good thing. And yeah, I'm thinking we're going to have to kind of get on top of this pretty quickly here. We might have to add another double pipe in here and kind of feed this up and thicken it up a bit. And let's just take a quick look at our map here and just get down in the weeds here for a second. Yeah, I mean, the back end is looking really good. It's this part that we've just opened up here, and if we're going to keep pulling off these blue science packs or science pack 3s, I think we're going to find that we're going to continuously be a little bit shy through here, and that makes me a little bit nervous. Am I a lot a bit nervous? Yeah, I'm just thinking it's just going to hinder how well we do. Now, the good news is we're backlogging. We're only backlogging because we're not using them. Once we start using them, I have a feeling we're going to burn right through them. I just kind of want to get us a bit of a feel. We're, barely keeping up with the copper, backlogging this a little bit. We really kind of need to double this up, and I'm thinking it wouldn't hurt us to almost double this right now. Now, we've got a couple options there, I believe. We could go into advanced material processing and speed up what we're doing and add some extra miners. That's one way for us to handle this. If we look at our stats, just let me just get into E here. And if we look at our speeds, we can see that the speed is 0.5, the crafting speed is 1. And I think we can do this through here. You can see the crafting speed is twice the speed. And I'm thinking that might be the way to go right now, is double this up, get these lines nice and thick with resources, and see if we can pull off this. I mean, these lines aren't rammed right up right now. The only downside is we may find the back end doesn't quite get enough off the line there. So I think what we will do is come down here, and I bet you we're finished with our brick down here. I think our wall will be full, so it's just kind of sitting there waiting for something to do. And because it's waiting for something to do, and we're waiting for this, which is 300, we're going to just flip over this. I kind of covered it in other areas, but just in case I haven't in the playthrough, because I can never remember what I've done, it's okay to switch to other things. If I come here and I go research now, and I was to go back now to this, my research is saved. So it saves your progress, so don't worry about jumping between things. You don't lose what you're doing. You're not stuck on a cause or a path all the time. So I just want to check this out. It should be 2 items. We should be able to build them in here. And we can just do this on the other side of the path here. And what we can do is we can just do a nice little cheat line down here. And we will just cheat it down. Because this doesn't need to be a really long line at all. We can just kind of do a little double cheater here with a little bin at the end. Because all we really want to do is just have a place to come up and pick up some of these. And we're going to just kind of Just quickly throw it together here and go, okay, we're done. I mean, it should be about that fast for us to start building these as soon as we get the tech. So we can't put it in yet because we don't have it, but as soon as we get the tech, we'll get that going and we'll update those. And I think what we'll do in the meantime is we'll just start figuring out how we're going to get the actually, you know what, we don't need to do it that way. Well, actually, let's do it that way because I really don't want to pull off our resources here. We're having enough troubles producing them, so let's just do it that way. Oh, I'm holding a few science packs in my bag, and that's just wasting space, so let's go dump those. Here, have some science packs. You greedy beast. Okay. And I think we could use some more light, eh? It's really just like so dark. I really do want to get this paved too, but it's more fun to pave with robots anyways than pave by yourself. Let's just toss a few more lights out here. Could use a few in here too, especially when it's not burning. And throw a light down there. Okay, and I think, you know, I'm not really worried about the steel ones, to be honest. It's these two that are kind of giving us the grief here. So if we're going to pull off at twice the amount, we should think about doubling up our output. Now, the other thing we're running into is we're starting to actually burn through some of these. In fact, look at this one. This one is actually empty, so that could be part of our problem too. We're not feeding as much as we probably could. The burner, yeah, we got burnt out burners, so I haven't been diligent enough in my monitoring of our systems, so we'll just kind of fill this right up at this point, and we might even have to look at, you know, putting some other ones out. And oh, we're just gonna squeeze it in here. I was thinking we were gonna have to move that coal line there for a second. I was like, no, I don't want to move it. Now we had the space to do it. I just didn't want to do it. There's lazy, and then there's not able to. I was the first one. I was just being lazy. Okay, and we need another line here. So let's get that going. That is basically as much copper as we're going to get out of there. Now, we have another copper field down here, so I'm actually thinking we might go down there. In fact, look, there's a couple of these are burnt out. Yeah, that one's done. So if you mouse over the miner, you can see that there's actually ore or not. So that's, you know, you sort of your check. It's like, okay, because sometimes they're not looking like they're working, but they are. And the other thing we notice here is, well, that's not going to work. So let's get those miners going. It does help us getting those miners because it basically just makes us more productive. So there we go. And there we go. That's a lot better. And for right now, we will call that done. But if we were to come down here now as fast as we can, I bet you we're going to find some of the iron ore. So they haven't quite burnt out yet. There might be one up there that's burnt out, but we will go and check. There we go, and we got those going really quickly. Now you're going to see that they're going to take quite a bit of resource. They take 6 steel plates and 10 stone bricks each. So they're going to take a little bit of time, and I think they take a decent amount of time to build. Well, only 3 seconds. I thought they took a little bit longer than that. But we're going to want, you know, a few tens of them. Now the other thing we can do is we can quickly run the copper from here straight up here and pipe it into these lines. My only concern at this point is, because we're not electric yet, I'm not sure that this double up line, and this is where this can harm you. I mentioned there's a couple ways of doing this where you can run 2 lines or 1 line. I often will try to jump right now to as quickly as I can to electric furnaces. So if we were to look, I believe we can do them after, oh, where are they hiding? They're not too far off here, right there. Advanced material processing, we can do electric right there. So basically we could go and learn that right now, and we could kind of skip the step we're doing right now. I kind of don't want to. So if it becomes too much problem, we could think about doing it. But you look in there now, they're crafting speed 2. The only difference between them is they don't use coal. So now we can double up this line. So basically we can have a double thick line coming down. And they take a bigger footprint, which means some extra work for us, but that's okay. So once we get a few of these, and we've kind of chatted for long enough to hopefully have 20. Oh, come on. You can do it. Give me 20 and we'll get the copper up and running and see if it helps us. So I want to do a little bit of an experiment here, and this is more for me than anybody else, but hopefully it'll be useful. 342 is our output right now, so that's ballparkish. And if we come up here and go something like this, and the nice thing about these is you can kind of just go plunk, 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 and just run up, because they'll just fall on top of the other ones. Whoops, unless you do that. And then we should be able to go clunk, 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 clunk. And what we should find is this copper line just starts to haul. And we can see that one side of the copper line is still not filled anyways. The only issue we have is whether it gets to the bottom here. Now we have another trick up our sleeves. If we were finding it's not getting down here, like right now it's not, we can go in and we can build some fast transporter belts. And so we're not liking the fact that these are all pulling off. So why don't we build some of these and let's see if that helps us out here. So we're going to do a little bit, we're going to kind of work on this a little bit, and we're going to see if we can do this. It's going to take a little bit of time because we've got to build all the extra things for it. But we will get there, and they'll come pretty quickly once we get there. And we can just do it from this point here. Oops. We're just going to have to be a little more patient. And how are we doing? We getting any production? Where is the count? 340 something, so an extra 60. We're starting to climb, so that's good news. And hopefully, once we get these extra inserters on here, just kind of wait for this extra. The only downside is that 5 really means 5. I was hoping it was going to mean 10, but it's actually 1 of each, which is yuck. We really do need to automate that as well then, don't we? Alright, what do we need for those? We're going to need a bunch more ore, so we'll try to make some of those in our bag, because I have a feeling we're going to want to do the same thing up here anyways, so we may as well just get a bunch of them being built. Yes, we know we're going to want a bunch of stuff, so just bear with us while we do that, and we'll grab a bunch more. Okay, and hopefully we've built a few in between. A whole 5, we've whopped up our... But you can see we're actually starting to get into a... We only need about 5 more to finish this off. You can see they're actually getting down there now. You can see how fast they're just kind of whipping down there. So it's a good way to kind of, you know, if you're finding you just can't get to the end, sometimes just speeding up the belt is all you need to do. Alright, so... Just need one more for the very end. Don't really need to do this one because, honestly, it's one little space. We're getting what we need now. So let's just give it a couple seconds, and then while we're waiting for it, why don't we come down here? Grab a bunch of more steel furnaces. That's just delicious. 52. We're not going to want a bunch more of these. If you know, we actually know that up here we need 20, 40. We only need 60 total, and we can replace these ones, so 70 total. If I've got what 52 in my bag, 52. We only need another 28, so we'll just seal it off at 50, and yeah, we'll have some extras because these are throwaways, so we really don't need too many more of them. In fact, why don't we do something like this? Just take up what we need. Because everything else is just wasted materials at this point. And if we have 50 in the bag, that'll be way more than we need. So I could put some logic on there, but honestly, just not worth the effort at this point, since we're all the way up here. Okay, let's quickly do this. Chunk, 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 chunk. Just paint by numbers. And then we'll do a little bit of monitoring and see how these lines are doing with the same issue. I guess it would have been smart if I had it quickly. Why don't we just quickly look? It'll be not exactly accurate, but we were 1,000 before is what we said, right? It was about 1,000, so any improvement on that 1,000 will be good. I saw the number had already jumped up because we're kicking it out twice as fast. Now we'll just have to make sure that we can feed that. So let's make sure we've got enough miners in here. I know we had some extras here. I just want to make sure that these are thick enough. I would like to maybe backfill that line a little bit more. So I think if we just go like this, whoopsie, and just run another line right here. Preferably if it went the right direction, that would be even better. And we will just kind of pipe that right into the side of there, and that one will make sure that that one is thick on that side at least. Where are the poles? There, there, and there. And what we should find is that this side of the line now, you can see the left side of the line is solid. It's this right side that's got a gap, so we'll just fill in that right side. Oh, there's, you know, it's staying full. So as long as we can keep that full, then we might be able to, you know, get these a little bit better off. Now, same problem. Back end is burnt out again. So we're kind of waiting to get these because we're going to want to push this down. So let's see if we can get those back ones lit up a bit. And we'll do that by just pushing down the ore as fast as we can get it to go. And that should hopefully start getting it down the fire end. So yeah, it's just all you gotta do is get yourself some little faster belt sometimes. So we're gonna be a bit short on this one, but there you go. That's all you gotta do is just make sure you can get what you've got, and as long as you can, got enough miners going. That's why I said I don't worry too much about the math after that point. It's kind of an eyeball exercise. If we're pulling all this off, which it looks like we were probably going to need some more miners. I mean, it can be rocket science. It just doesn't need to be rocket science. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong either way, because it's kind of fun doing the numbers sometimes. Just sometimes I don't feel like it. So there we go. I'm not going to worry about the last two there. They get done or they don't. Okay, so what do we got for a problem here? Got a bit of the same issue here. So if we were to bring another line in right here, I'm thinking, and we were to bring up a double up like this right there, just like that. Get this line, whoops, curve that one in real quick, and we will get, just pondering a couple things here. What should we do with this? Just gotta wait for 5 miners, and I think we'll be okay. Come on, sprockets or iron gears or whatever your names are. Build for me. Come on. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Be like that then. Jerk. Did I put 5 down? Why did I only go to 4? That's just strange. Must have built it right at the last second. I wasn't paying attention. And we'll just run this one in like this, and hopefully that will help that. And I'd like to see all these going if possible. That's what we want to see, is all these furnaces lit up so that we've basically doubled our production. Theoretically, if we're burning twice as fast and they're all burning, we should have pretty well doubled up our production. Not saying that's exactly true, but I'm saying logically, it makes sense. Now, we're still not quite keeping it full, so we need to get a bit more on here. So that's okay. That's why we built extra miners. I see that we're still not filling this side, so we'll just keep putting miners down. That's okay. I'll throw another one down there. See if that does it. Yeah, that's going to help that one, I think. Well, there's a couple more in line, so I'm thinking maybe we just throw a couple more down this end, and hopefully... Well, this one's got its own problems now, because it's... This one's got some challenges in that we've got a bit of an issue here. So I think what we're going to do is we'll put a splitter here, which is actually becoming a joiner for us, and we will use it as a joiner right there, and we'll do it that way. And that will allow us to feed both sides of the track instead of just the one side like we were. And that is coming through as a double line, and then it's trying to seal up. So what we really need to do is get more onto this line. So it's this line that's causing us grief right now. Now, we have options. We could route this line the other way. We could route some of it the other way. And I think that's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this power line like this. And this is what I was talking about, where I like the ability to be able to do stuff like this. Just kind of reroute things a little bit. Let's get electric engines up. And you can see I'm just rerouting now. It's only going to be able to go into 1/2 of it, but now I can keep that side of the line full. And it just allows us a little bit more. So you can kind of do it almost wherever you want. And what you should find is this will backlog a little bit. And we should be in good shape. So we're kind of, spreading it out a bit. And how are we doing? We're down to... Looks like we got 4 blinkers, 5 blinkers. It's kind of rotating itself a little bit. I'm just wondering if maybe we could just use those 2 down there just to keep it fed. I'll just do that. Down to 2 blinkers. It takes a bit of time to catch up sometimes when you're feeding the ore in. And we do have the other alternative. We can always run some of this faster line here to get this coming off of here faster. It frees your backlog. So if you got a backlog, you can use it to free the backlog. What it means, though, is we've got to upgrade all these parts, and I kind of don't want to do that right now. It's not perfect right now. And how are we doing on this side? What we need is to feed both sides of this line, and then we'll be in a good position. So we're just going to do this. That should get us close, I think. That should get us really close. Now, what I see is nice thick stream of ore. And look at our copper's backed up, our ore's backing up, and let's go take a look at some of the mathicans. And yep, you know, we didn't double it, but we're up to 1.6 instead of the thou we were running, and I believe we were 349 or 350-ish. And so we didn't quite double this, but again, we're kicking it out quite a bit more. Definitely working a lot better for us right now. We're you know, and the proof is in the pudding, as they say, right? Here's our lines, and they're nicely starting to back up for us. So that was worth the effort. Sometimes, you know, you just got to upgrade your things. I'm not going to do the steel ones right now. Just don't really need to. You know, we're not really under that pressure right now. But we're going to probably have to keep an eye on the ore fields now, the copper and the iron, because they're burning out. I noticed that one copper field is burning out, so if we start finding that's getting slim. Now, the question is that helping us here? Like, did that solve our problems? I see we've got lots of blues now. But I see that this last one's running now, so that's, you know, that's positive. Put a power line in there. There we go. As long as this one's sort of spitting one out occasionally, that means that this, as long as I see this blue, you know, this this Science Pack 3 being built here, that it's only can be fed from one place, so it means it's doing its job. So we're good. I'm feeling good about it. It's starting to come together for us. Not, like I said, it wasn't the way that I usually do it, but we're getting some results out of it. And I see our reds are all backed up, so we're going to refeed this one into here. I like having lots in reserve because we will need them. There's some things you just can't overbuild in the game, and frankly, red circuits is one of them. You know, I'm trying to feed in my iron ore. Yeah, that's going to work. Never. Nicely done. Yeah, I wonder what it would learn if I tried to just drop ore in. That'd be great. Okay. We'll put the copper in there and goof it up there, because that'll goof up your whole line. Yeah, sometimes you get your lines mixed up, and that can cause you grief. We've been lucky so far in that I haven't made a great faux pas and done that. I won't be shocked if I don't do it at some point, unless I did it early on. I do it so often, I don't worry about it too much. Okay. Let's take a quick look at the map and see what's going on. You can see that the bugs are starting to solidify. Oh, like, speaking of bugs. Oh, look, and they've upgraded. There's our upgrade that we were talking about. Oh, they're chewing on the rock. Man, they don't like that rock. Look at them. Gee, what did it ever do to them? Wow. I didn't know they did that. I don't think I've ever seen them actually go after a rock. I always wondered where you got those extra rocks from. It's because they like to chew them. So these are the little guys, I believe, that start to lean over the wall. So that was what I was talking about, getting us our space. I was actually thinking of the bluer ones that definitely lean over the wall. So, but we've upgraded the bugs, so that's something, I guess. And we've still got this ore field up here we can go after. So I'm starting to... concrete. But what I see is flight. I'm... How far are we from logistic robots? Let's think about this. We're not too far away at all, are we? We just need lasers and bots. So why don't we grab laser, robotics. I always think this is a laser. It looks like a laser to me, but this is actually lasers. Let's grab robotics, and then we'll grab the flight, and we'll start thinking about building ourselves some robots. Not sure we've got the oil production for it, but we'll figure it out. And we're going to have to start thinking about maybe upgrading the oil, because we're going to end up with a lot of yellow. Now, I'm not burning off the yellow because we don't need it for our power. We've got enough power. Oh, we have enough power. I say confidently and assuredly, we have enough power. Because I'm going to go over and build some more right now. But apparently we don't have as much power as I thought we did. So we're going to go and resolve that. So what we'll do is we'll grab some more ore here, which is why we like keeping this kind of fed here, as I said. So let's just build, I think we can only put 10 more online before we need another pump. So let's just grab 5 of the boilers and 10 more steam engines, and that will max out what we've got. Wow. Part of the problem is we're not feeding all our steam engines, so that could be a problem. We're going to need some more of these then. And how are we looking, speaking of? Those ones are starting to get a little bit thin, so yeah, we're going to have to get these all online here, I guess. Wow, we're starting to get to that point in the game where we're having to start monitoring a few extra things because we're really starting to chew through materials. You know, in the early part of the game, you don't usually go through enough materials to worry about it so much, but you start getting to this point and it just starts sucking things up. And yeah, I think we're starting to actually get to that point. What have we got? Okay, I got 5 more right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Love that we can build these now as opposed to the first time we tried to do this and had bugs crawling all over us. The fact that we can just build them and not worry about them. That is a pleasant experience. And we will just bump those up one so we can feed them. What have I done there? Oh, I started one up. Wow. Okay, and we can keep using yellows. You can see that they just keep them filled, so it's not really a big deal. And just put that over there like that. They've got water. And I think we will... I'm going to... What I'm trying to do is make sure that I can run through this little space here. I want to be able to keep running through here, so I'm going to do a bit of a... Not sure I'm going to be able to do this. Yeah, we'll do it this way. We will peel this one off like this and bring it over onto there, and then we're going to peel this line off and go back the other way. That'll allow us this ability to kind of run between these two, I think. Should be able to keep running through there. Okay. Did that get us all in line? Well, that gave us a little bit of breathing room. Got us closer to 50%, but if we're going to do more, we're going to have to put another pump online and get really serious. I was kind of hoping we might get into nuke, but maybe what we'll do before that, that's a lot of... Look at them all. Wow. That's... I think they're coming to play. I'm not too sure they're thinking... I don't think they have friendly thoughts. Okay, so yeah, I've been thinking nuclear, but maybe we'll throw some solar up just to show how that works too. And like I said, we're going to kind of dabble around the edges. Sometimes I skip parts. There is an achievement for skipping solar, so that's an easy one to do. You just don't get solar, and same with lasers. You can skip lasers. You know, you can jump right into everything else and just skip your laser defense. But we'll play around with lasers a bit too. We're kind of going to do the whole gauntlet here. So it's going to, like I said, it's going to take us a little bit longer to kind of get through a few things because we're going to throw some things up. But we may not produce as many as we normally would if that's how we, you know, if we were thinking laser defense, we would do things a lot differently than just kind of sporadically throwing out some lasers for fun. Okay. How are we doing? I'm just taking a little look-see here. And I'm thinking, well, this was kind of a cleanup episode, just trying to get our production back online. I just kind of want to go down and take a quick look at our... I'm not sure why I jumped in the car to do this, but I'm kind of setting up for the next part. I want to get us facing outwards. Our engines aren't a problem. We're keeping up on that front. So everything's keeping up. So that's really good. And look at this lovely thick line of materials we have. So I'm feeling... Yeah, we're in good shape, I'm thinking. And our defense, you know, we got lots of stuff coming around. Nothing seems to be really breached if we follow along here. We got a little bit of a hole up there in our visual. But I'm not seeing chunks of wall that are yellow. I think this is the only place that we've actually got some down. Oh, we got one little piece of yellow there, so might want to go down there and tidy that up a bit. And that's, I think, where this great horde's coming in. So that might be something we want to think about. But, you know, it could be fun to let them through, too, just for fun. And we got this... I don't know what to do with this thing. I'm thinking there might be some use for this, just to make one thing out of it. I almost want to go over there and, you know... It's like seeing a hornet's nest. You want to throw the rock at it. Yeah. You kind of feel like you feel like you have to, right? I mean, sometimes you know that you shouldn't throw the rock at the hornet's nest. But yet it's sitting there and there's all these angry bees. And there's a part of you that just says, if I was just to tap it, I bet you I could get away in time. Now, we got to remember it is their home, and maybe it's not right of us to do that. So I'm not really promoting. Oh, maybe we already got them all. No, there's a pocket of them there. Do you have some wall? So I don't want to say I'm promoting taking out bees, because we really do need the bees in the world. So maybe that's not what I'm promoting, but I am promoting killing bugs in this game because they're just annoying. Oh, look at them all. Wow. If they get on top of this car, we are not going to be in a happy place. I can tell you that much. So, I wonder if we can... Oh, that's a good place for it. Good news is nothing goes on in the background, because there'd be nothing worse than doing this and having bugs swarm your car. But I just kind of want to shoot this. Come on. I want to make sure we make a turn here. Alright, friends. Oh yeah, there's a few. Not getting enough of them, though. Yeah. Let's take a chance, shall we? Hey, look at me! Whoa, yeah. As long as we don't hit a rock, we're okay. Let's see how our guns do with this. Oh, it's just like... It's like a knife and butter. It's not even... That wasn't even, like, contentious. It was sort of like... Oh, there's something there for us to shoot. Oh, look, here's some more. Well, we better hope our guns do the same thing here, because we're standing the wall. Yeah, they're not even getting there. I think we actually chewed up a good chunk of those. I'm just looking for the repair tool. I'm not sure how they got to the wall when they can't even seem to get to the wall, but must have been even a bigger attack. But wow, yeah. So just as an aside, you can see how the wall actually kind of does its job. It get those two guns up. Spacing's more than enough. If I was to leave this through blues and didn't upgrade the weaponry, we'd probably have a problem. And, you might have some issues, but... And we got enough firepower here to take this out, so we'll just take it out. There we go. Less attacks for us to deal with. Less ammo to be used. Save on resources in the long haul. Oh, and look at all these guys coming in. There must be another one down here. What do we got down here? Just kind of taking a little... Going for a little drive now. Just taking a bit of a view. We're strong enough now that we can do this. And of course, the bugs that have been behind me then, that would have been bad, but that's alright. Alright, so it's nice to take a little look around and be able to get outside the base and, go for a drive. Who wants to go for a ride? Okay, I think we'll call that episode 14. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate any likes. I always appreciate any comments. And, yeah, please subscribe. That's it for episode 14. Next episode, we'll start looking at we'll probably starting to think about how we're going to get those robots out, which means some batteries and sulfuric acid, which I thought we were going to do this episode. So we'll do that one next one. We'll start getting ready for those robots and having some fun with those and starting to set up a robotic network. So I'm Nerd Dad, that episode 14, and I'm out.